Okay, so here I'm ready to start playing Blockade Runner, which I'd have to turn it. I'd have to go around the table because I can't risk. Anyway, it's probably easier to see from that side. A lot of the charts are over there, but unfortunately, I like to have things facing north-south or something. I don't know. Just leave me alone. I already set it up. I had missed one part of the setup to the game before, while I was explaining, which is that each player gets a number of these cards that's also based on the number of players. So, now the next thing in setup is each player is going to take turns placing a ship at a time. And there's no serpentine or anything like that. You just put one ship and then you put another. The game... I think, yeah, so sequence of play should be random, but that doesn't happen until we hit the turn order. Okay, so I'm going to start here and do the sequence of play for the setup here. Now what do I have? I can add to the defense at Beaufort in South Carolina. I can affect a mainland Atlantic blockading squadron. That sounds pretty good. And chasing raider depletes blockading squadron, reducing a squadron by 1. That sounds like a good combination of cards for me to start something in Beaufort. Now, unfortunately, I tried using a little teeny piece of paper or something. I could not get the smokestacks to stay in, so they're going to just kind of roll around and be problematic. I'm going to put my bigger, slower ship over here in Beaufort, over here in Beaufort. And you can see some of them stay in fairly well. That's one of the better ones, actually. And I'm going to make the same decision with every person. So this guy, for example, add 2 to Albemarle Sound, North Carolina. This is... permanently add 1 to the speed of any ship placed with the ship card. Well, Albemarle Sound, North Carolina. Okay, I'm looking in North Carolina, and oh, it's way up there. Okay, so I'm going to do the same. I'm going to put my big ship up here, figuring it can do better, and kind of got that one in. And yeah, I'll pick both my ships that way. To note, the red player had no cards to help him choose. He has one that helps him on the mainland Atlantic, so he's going into where another player is. Figures, well, that player's probably got bonuses at that port, so that's safe. This early in the game, it's probably pretty safe anyway. This would have been the better choice, but I've got my faster ship here. Maybe I'll put my slower one up there. What I don't know is whether or not, for example, green had a bonus card or just played kind of at random. This doesn't seem like a wise port choice. There isn't a lot of product there, which is another thing to keep in mind, which is that, hey, maybe you want to be someplace where there's high port values or there's product or something like that. You're allowed to put them on any port on the board, including non-Confederate ports. You could be buying other goods and delivering them. So, I don't know. I'm going to go into Charleston Harbor. I think it's safer. I think it's safe enough that I can go into a place that has 3 goods in it. Because the things that players are going into don't look particularly tasty. Okay, all the ships have been placed to begin with. I'm running into some more problems with the components, which is that I can't tell black. I think this is green and blue apart very easily. Now, I don't have the best of lighting, but it's a common problem I've had with some of the numbskull games. And some other Euro-style games where, the colors are really kind of a problem. You can't really tell things apart very easily. For example, the black market and the brown for the tobacco. It could have been a lighter, just pale tobacco. I can show you some. A lighter color would have been more appropriate. And certainly with the player colors, there could be more distinguishment between them. Anyway, at this point, it's time to do the union actions, and the union actions are done as if 10 war goods were delivered, which means 7 cards with 1 port assault. And if we look this up, 10 would mean -5. There's 12 base cards, so that's 7, and 1 port assault. Okay. We're not going to have any inland attacks, and we're not going to have a high seas fleet. So, let's see what we get. And we'll just take these here and start flipping them up. New Orleans, got 1. And immediately we can see, oh geez, you know, maybe being at some of the bigger ports might be dangerous. I don't know how the deck's set up. Tampa Bay. And we'll continue. I'll be back in a bit. So that's 6 cards. The 7th is the important one. This is the port assault. It's going to be on Jacksonville. Now we find ourselves Jacksonville. It's only got a defense of 1. That means we're going to put 2 extra points in. That overcomes the 1. So we have a successful capture of Jacksonville, and there goes the goods there. And that's already beginning to cause a problem, right? I don't believe these get reshuffled every turn. They might. Either way would make sense. Doesn't seem like there's any statement to that degree. Okay, no inland city capture, no high seas fleet. Now commodity management. Except for the first turn, so all the prices stay the same. All right, and now determine turn order. You could throw them, because it's completely randomized now, you basically throw them all into a cup. I'm going to randomize them with die rolls, but that's just because I don't want to hear the clanking of my metal cup filled with little wooden pieces. That would disturb me. That means we got our little alignment here. The problem I have with this is I think you can get off to a big jump by being the first player. You're going to be able to load the commodities if you're in a port shared with someone else, like these guys are. You're going to be able to load the commodities early. There's something problematic with that, but probably on the first turn it's not that big a deal. But here's what's a big deal. I can pick up the black market goods if I'm in one of these ports and haul them somewhere. Like, this was a mistake being the second guy in here. In fact, both people, whoever had a 2-box fleet and put it in here, was making a mistake of some sort. But I can rail and lose a little bit of money doing that. It's just that I'm probably not going to get too much benefit. But one protection to that is the guy who had a card that worked with that kind of knows that, well, if there was a fleet there, he could deal with the blockade there a little bit more easily, perhaps. Okay, but here's the problem. The problem is the guys here with the black market, or the guys picking up goods, whoever does it first and gets their run in first is going to get more money off of it because the prices are going to decrease as you go. How big a deal is that? Well, I don't know. There's catch-up mechanism in it, which is that the player turn order gets kind of scrambled by how well you're doing. How well you're doing being how many ships, how much shipping capacity you have. What that may mean is that people have kind of this juggling act where they're trying to, not have the best shipping capacity but still score better. That could get dangerous, though. We'll see how that ends up feeling. I've got some worries along those lines. I always have worries along that kind of line. Anyway, our first player is White. White is over here, and he's curious about his cards. He's got a casemate ram. That would allow him to improve the defense here, which might be a good idea because he's going to have to run a blockade. He can increase the speed of a ship, and he's got this rebel assault that's kind of useful. Now when you play a card, I think you draw one. Because it says players always have the same number of cards in hand. And the only way that could be done is if you drew one immediately when you play it. That is not specified here, that I see. And is somewhat disturbing. Okay, but how do we figure out what we want to... the only way that players can all have the same number of cards is if when you draw one, though. So that's what we're going to say here, even though it's not specified in the rules. Fairly standard for these guys. Okay, so I can buy some goods, and cotton is not as valuable as tobacco by a long shot. The cost to pick up, yeah, see, I gotta see if I've got to run this thing. If a ship's move enters, yeah, so the blockade's going to be a problem for me unless I play a card and I have something that adds to the speed of a ship, and I have something that adds to that. Now, let's see. If I load, I could add 2. So I've got to kind of figure out what my turn is going to be ahead of time, right? That's the problem. So I have 4 actions because I didn't deliver the most war goods last turn. My 4 actions will probably consist of a load action, and I think this is white here, not yellow. It's harder to see with the naked eye. So that would be 1 action. I'd have a move action, which can get me to Havana and also into one of these ports. So that's 2 of my actions. A 3rd action could be my card action. And what would my 4th action be? Well, I could try to buy a ship, which would allow me to pull more stuff in. Now, I only have $5,000, though. That's the problem. And picking up cotton, so I don't have enough money to pick up one of these, unless that's all I pick up. Picking up cotton are $1,000 each. Tobacco's $4,000. So I don't really have enough money. The cheapest ship I can buy is going to cost me $8,000. So we won't be doing that. Alright. So I'll load up, well, maybe I'll play 2 cards, right? I'm allowed to do that, I believe. I think so. So I'm gonna play a Capitan on my big ship. The New Orleans is gonna have a Capitan. And that increases his speed, which will make it easier to get away. That generates $5,000 in the port defense. $5,000 isn't enough to do anything. I'll get myself another card. Add 2 to the defense of Fort Sumter. Well, no, Charleston, sorry. Yeah. That doesn't really help me. The casemate ram, though, that does help me. So I'll put another 5,000 in here, and I'll boost New Orleans up to a 4. Okay, so that's 2 actions. I get another card. Pensacola, still open, I believe. 2 actions. 3rd action is loading. 1, 2,000. I don't have enough to buy that, so we'll make it 3,000. Oh, did I want to pay some of this? Yeah. Can I get anything up to a 2 that I care about? I can. Oh, anything important down here? I'm going to spend the 10,000 to upgrade Tampa Bay. I'll upgrade Cedar Key here. Well, see, the rails don't help me here. upgrade. Well, the rails don't help me there at all. How about Franklin? Not the best of places, but whatever. Okay, so now I've done 2 cards, 3 I've loaded. Oh, I did not want to do 2 cards because I have to unload. Oh, fuck. Okay, get rid of this. Yes, you couldn't actually do this in a game. Let me make sure. I want the case made back. Okay. And we've got $5,000 in here. I'm just undoing everything because I did a load, a card, and then for some reason I thought I had more movement. Okay, now I'm gonna move. One. Yep, that's not me. Let's try to get this in. Yeah, there goes my block. 1, 2, we'll move to here. And we're going to try to get out. Pieces of crap. We're going to try to get out of there. Now we have to run that. I have a speed of 3. The port defense puts me to 6. My captain gives me, oh, I already have that added in on the speed. 6 minus 1 puts me to 5. So unless both of them are above a 5, I'm okay. I barely make it. And with a speed of 3, 1, 2, I can make it here. Now I unload, and I unload my 2. I didn't pay for my shit. I owe $2,000 for that cotton. I could have bought a tobacco instead of a cotton. Let's say I did that. That cost me $5,000. I got rid of my money. Now I dump a cotton, which is going to give me $10,000. I dump a tobacco, puts me up to $26,000. I dump this, that gives me $1,000, I believe. I'm not sure. I'll have to look that up. $2 bills, I don't know what those are for. Okay, so when I unload war goods, I get 1,000 each, yeah. And I think I'm done with my turn, so I'm gonna mark that by popping out of there, and I'm going to do a swap of my batteries. If I had really wanted to buy a ship after I made my delivery, I have tons of money. So if I hadn't played a card first, I could have bought myself a ship. Okay, let's go to red and see what they're doing. And again, they may not have set up as well as they could have. I could buy a black market and a red, but then I'd be out of money. I have to buy this white. Of course, I could buy a tobacco and rail it, and then I'd be out of money. But I can haul 2 red. So let's think about that. A tobacco will cost me $5,000 to rail to here. Just one space away. $5,000, and I make 16, so I make 11. Here I make 10, so that sounds more valuable, except I have to spend an action to rail goods, right? I do. So that's probably not worth it. So let's look. I can put an ironclad. I don't really need one. When 2 ships run a blockade together, only one must roll, the other evades for free. Purchase a ship of your choice without starting a bidding auction. And I think that doesn't require an action. Okay. So I will load, move, unload. My last card, I could put a bid up. but I don't know that I terribly want to, because I'd probably be giving this guy a bid too. I don't have a card that terribly helps me though. Oh, I don't know. So I got that extra action. A rail. And that cost me my 5,000 bucks. 2 actions, I'm loading. Red. Loading. Now I get to move. Now this thing moves 3. 1. 2 into here. Yeah, there goes my cube. 1, 2 into here. Gonna have to do a rail action, but that's okay. I unload. I have all of my actions taken. I'm gonna drop 2 of these in. That gives me 2,000 bucks. We'll use one of those $2,000 bills, which will confuse the hell out of me, but okay. And then here, I'm selling another tobacco for 16,000. That drops the value of the tobacco. And the cubes go over here. And that's red's turn. And we'll move on through the rest of the turns. For blue, I'm adding a pilot, which adds 1 to the speed of the ship. And I'm adding that to the Dominion here. I use the 10,000 bucks, and I'm going to drop something over here in Georgetown, I guess, to upgrade the defenses. I load. That cost me 2,000. I don't have the money for this. If you were playing with less players, you would. Oh, I get a card. Yeah, I know what that is. So I spent 2,000. That gives me 3,000 back. I deliver. Now this guy's got a 3-speed ship. These pieces of shit are really bugging me. He's got a 3-speed ship. Make it 6. Make it 5. Same as the other guy had. He makes it as he comes out. 1, 2, 3 has to be into Nassau. And this is also a 3-speed ship. I'll make it into Wilmington. I deliver one of these for 1,000 bucks. Be nice if I was able to carry more, but I can't. And here I drop off 2 cotton for 20,000 bucks. And you can see that you can probably pre-plan your starting turn better than I've done. These go, and the price of cotton goes down to 9 bucks. And that is blue. Over to yellow. What's yellow sitting on? Yellow's sitting here, and over here where I can pick up a couple cotton. Now I got a problem. I can make it down to Matamoros. Okay. I don't have a big problem. Trade any ship for 1 greater capacity or speed. Must be important me not move this turn. This is an interesting idea. I could upgrade this ship in order to, you know, then I'd have $5,000. I could buy a black market. The black market good would sell for 20, but minus 5 because I'm not hauling any war goods. I don't think that's a great deal. let's look at my others. Running Tide. Improve ship's roll by 2 for 1 turn. I guess you have to play that on the turn you're playing it. Refund the printed cost of your next ship that's lost. That sounds pretty good to me. So I'm going to buy some insurance. That puts 5,000 back in the bank. I get a card. Okay. I buy these for 2,000. Another war good. I move. Where do I want to go with this? I got pretty good movement. 1, 2, 3. I can make it to Franklin. This can't carry too much. I could go to haul the tobacco. I could go to haul the tobacco. It's not there right now, but it will be. Got a 5 to get in there. I don't think I want to do that. Okay. And now I unload. And I've done 4 actions on that. So 2 cotton gets me 18,000. Make it 19,000. Who is this? This is yellow. I didn't spend my money. I bought 2 cotton for 2,000. So I should be getting 17,000 back. And that's his turn. Puts me over to black, which is over here. He's got a captain. He's got an insurance. And he's got a Fort Hatteras and Clark. Okay, where is black? Black's up here. He's not going to be able to haul all his stuff. He's going to have to pay an extra 1,000 to haul the tobacco. So I'm going to do a rail action. And I'll grab 1, 2 cotton. That's going to cost me 3,000 bucks. 1,000 for the rail. And I picked up, that's my second action. My third action is to move. Yeah, we'll see. Any tobacco anywhere? I'm going to sail into Charleston and take a risk there. I'm a 3-6, make it 5. That seems like a pretty safe. Oh boy. They'd have to both be higher, so I make it in. And now I can sell my goods. And I sell 2 cubes at 18,000. We'll worry about those in a moment. Make it 19,000. Damned, I did spend. So I go up to 21. And you can see whoever went first gets a little bit of a bonus. It's not too big a deal at the beginning of the game. But later in the game, if you have a lot of boats running, I can see where it actually really causes a problem. These go in, 3 of them, cut the price down, and we got another one in place there. And now we're on the green player. Green player's up here, where are his boats. He's got a boat back here. Could haul the big stuff if he wants, and he's got another boat here. He may have to do a rail if he wants to hold stuff. Rebel Raider. Chasing raiders depletes blockading squadron. Reduce a squadron by 1. That could be neat. Ironclad. Subtracts from a blockading squadron again. And Fort Beauregard. Or Fort Beaufort. Sorry. No, Fort Beauregard. Well, I got to do a rail. So that's it doesn't really matter. That's... Oh, it does matter because it costs board a haul from the inland. So that cost me $3,000. And I'll take war goods. I wish I could do something else. That was 2 of my actions. Third is to move. Who am I? I'm this guy. This thing. I don't know if I can move diagonally. Shit. Yeah, these pieces of crap. Let's see how movement's done. Doesn't say. I'd say no, which means I'm screwed because I'm a slow boat. 1, 2. Now I could sail and maybe sail again after having dropped off next turn. But this means I'm kind of screwed in terms of delivery. Again, I made a mistake. I'd like Norfolk. 1, 2, 3. I don't know if I paid everyone. He's gonna get his war good of $1,000, and that's all he gets. And maybe he should have just bought the black market and taken the money for that. I don't know, because I started in a stupid location thinking, hey, I can get somewhere from everywhere, but no, not quite. And I didn't have a sailor. I didn't have a way to get anywhere. I just screwed up. Okay, so that is the line for the first turn, and the game is not going to be a long one. So now we look for the full order. We randomized player order. Now we're going to be doing, we did the player turns, and that means something happens here. I guess not. I guess we load this video up. Most of the people are around 20,000. This poor sucker didn't manage to make a run. Alright, let's send this up early. We'll step away a little bit from the detail as usual. Probably get the rest of the game on one video.